G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. And today we're talking about Mark Robinson. Now, over the last few days, I've seen a few publications out there. I'm not going to name them, but you might have seen them too. A few places on YouTube and on the internet have said that it's really terrible news. And to quote one of the places that I looked up on the old internet, it was demoralizing to find out that Mark Robinson would not be, have a chance to be a starter. Now, if you guys haven't caught up on the news about Mark Robinson, there was a press conference from Teryl, I think 2 days ago, talking about pretty much all the defense, and Mark Robinson was brought up. Now, in that press conference, Teryl Austin pretty much said that Mark Robinson will have a chance to start not this year. He's not fighting for reps this year in 2023. And by the way, it's not a bad thing. And I'm going to break down why in just a moment. It's not a bad thing, him being depth, working his way up the ladder in this roster, in this defense. To me, it's not a bad thing. So he was asked, how's that development going? And Teryl Austin pretty much said, well, next year he'll have a chance to fight for reps in 2024. Now, for me, I don't see anything wrong with that. I actually still think that Mark Robinson can break out this year, play some good football, get some tackles, make key plays, fumbles, interceptions, all those kind of things. I think he's going to play more teams. Last year in 21, I think he played, I looked up the stat, was about, 20 or 30 snaps on teams. However, you have more guys like Marcus Allen, you had Derek Watt, Benny Snell. Those were the team guys that had more reps in that situation. In this situation going into 2023, into the second year, there's less bodies there in the team. So you probably see him put his hand up, or Danny Smith and Teryl Austin will work together to put Mark Robinson into kickoff coverage and punt return coverage, things like that. But I looked around the internet, and of course, the over-dramatization continues in the offseason. I can't wait till the offseason's over. Makes no sense. Makes no sense how. Also, the Steeler way is you don't want to rush these players into that position to where you want to start Mark Robinson. Now, I think that he can be a very impactful player, but he doesn't need to be straight off the bench, 11 on 11, and it's Holcomb and Robinson together. I think it's going to be Holcomb and Landon Roberts. I think those two guys are two vets, two former captains. I've heard good things about Holcomb from reporters and things like that on Twitter, going through all those kind of stories. Heard some really good things. And you go to Atlanta Roberts, who has been a Super Bowl champion. I think he's won 2 Super Bowls. So he's got the experience there. I trust the organization with those two fellas. At the same time, you listen to what Teryl Austin said, and he just said, okay, he won't be getting reps or a chance this year to be number 1 or number 2. He's going to be that depth guy. And when I looked around the internet, all I saw was terrible news, demoralizing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's okay. Sometimes in a football team, it's okay to be that depth guy. And I feel like Mark can be that. Now, he was a former running back. He played a few games near the end of the season. We also saw Devin Bush got less reps in the Browns game. I think Browns game and the Ravens game. Mark Robinson came in and played, I think, like 90% of the snaps over the 2 games or something similar to that. Had about 9 tackles, tackle for a loss. And I thought he played really good football. The thing is, to me, don't be overly annoyed or, frustrated that he's not getting reps at number 1, right? Also, to the same point, I don't think the Steelers are done just yet bringing in certain players. Like the 90-man roster is definitely going to change before training camp. Now, we just have today was the last day of minicamp, so day 3, and that's going to be over, right? So whenever I release this video, minicamp is now done, and we're going into the quiet period. But listening to what Teryl Austin said about Mark Robinson, it honestly doesn't matter to me anyway. That's my opinion. I think it doesn't matter. I think you have Mark Robinson there as depth, and he can still provide in certain situations. If you bring him in a nickel package or you bring him in a third down or something like that, where Atlanta Roberts is a bit tired, you change him in, change him out. He has the experience, and they're going to bleed him in that way. Just because he's not starting, it's not the end of the world. But all the publications I've seen out there, they act like we've already lost the Super Bowl before it's even begun, right? Got to think back. He's still only a seventh rounder. He's still learning his way through the offense. I'm really high on him too. I'm really high on this guy. Anyone like that, the Trey Norwoods, Benny Snell, if he could have kept his feet and kept his job, I was going to be high on him too, being a third, fourth guy. Mark Robinson being a seventh rounder. Anyone like that comes that far, even that bloke Corey Trice, I hope he can succeed. Anyone like that, even undrafted guys like Warren, those blokes I cheer for and I support and give him the best chance. But just because he's not playing as a starter, it's not the end of the world. And that's all I saw over the last few days, that because he wasn't starting, we're not going to have a chance for the Super Bowl, right? But you go into the roster, and I did a breakdown the other day. I think it's going to be Cole, Elena Roberts at middle linebacker, and then Mark Robinson and Tanner Muse being the backups, also at middle linebacker, right? That to me is going to be the four they go with this season. But of course, that could change in a heartbeat over the next 2-3 weeks. Do the Steelers bring someone else in to compete for the job for training camp? Do they trade for someone? We don't know. What I've learned with Omar Khan this year is I have no idea what's going to happen. All I can do is read and react to the situation, right? But right now it's Holcomb, Roberts, Robinson, Tanner Muse. Tanner Muse is more that teams guy, so you're going to see him play teams. And I could also see Mark Robinson play teams as well. So, yeah, that to me is I still think he can be an impactful player as a depth piece. And it's not the end of the world if he doesn't start. It's only going to add more fuel to his fire to want to play for this organization and play harder. I feel like this defense has gotten more physical. They're more checked in. You have the situation now. TJ Watt's getting healthier. Alex Highsmith is trying to figure out a contract so he can be there for the next 3 years. Cameron Haywood, Ogunjobi signed a 3-year deal. This team's getting together. Patrick Peterson, Minka, they're all working together. So to me, in reality, that Robinson not starting doesn't matter. I think he's going to make some plays, man. I actually think if you were to say over under that he gets 2-3 sacks, I'd maybe say over. He'll play some games. He'll be in there. Force fumbles, he's going to make something happen. He may get an interception. Who knows? As long as he plays some snaps and can play maybe if it's 25% every game or 30% every game, he's going to be involved in some way to learn the position more. And what better way than learning the position is actually playing the position. And I think Teryl also knows that. But also, I find it's a confident thing from Teryl saying, okay, you won't get it this year, but it gives you something to work for next year in 2024. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later. I will be doing a live today when we're going to talk about all the minicamp stuff. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning. Enjoy your morning. I'll see you later.